This is Call of Duty Black Ops. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the original Black Ops experience, the very first entry in the series. I mean, it does technically lean on the events from World at War to some degree, but this kickstarted Treyarch's Black Ops franchise. So what are we getting here? It's 608p. 60 FPS, auto HDR, and yeah, it's got a epic campaign with some gripping narrative pieces to it, some big surprises, some really awesome gritty multiplayer, and also what is the definitive zombies experience for Call of Duty. So yeah, let's dive in and showcase the campaign and talk a little bit about this aspect of the experience as we work together cooperatively and covertly to take out Project Ascension, which will be probably a wild time. So the single-player campaign experience had you kind of questioning things. You were basically this, Mason, the numbers, what do they mean? And you're kind of like sitting there, you're taking it in, you're kind of telling a bit of a story almost as you're being interrogated, and you're doing these flashback accounts of the crazy things that happened. What's also really cool about this game, if you didn't know, if you're in the main menu, you can kind of sit there and you can tap the triggers over and over again, and your guy will actually break out of the chair and you can like walk around in the room. Kind of a cool thing. Can't think of any other main menus that did that in like any other video games, so that was pretty cool at the time. Even today, it's kind of neat if you didn't know about it. But yeah, the campaign has this really epic, sort of dark setting and tone to it as you're dealing with this extremely dangerous gas and stuff like that, and you know, it's very violent and intensive, and you're going in essentially behind enemy lines to do the missions that other groups won't do. And then this did kind of directly get continued with Black Ops 2, and then from there it's a little, kind of all over the place. But yeah, I mean, this is still a pretty iconic campaign, and one of the better campaigns in the entirety of the Call of Duty franchise. Oh, the characters, the way the story development's done. Very good job. Not to mention all of the crazy twists in action. Now, obviously, it's a bit jaggedy around the edges, and, some of the skyboxes haven't aged the best, or aged that well, but it's still a very technically impressive sort of thing. I don't know if we picked, like, the most action-packed mission, but it kind of gives you an idea of the setting and the story, what we're going for on this one, as we're here with Woods, trying to get the job done, but it gives you a sense of the scale and whatnot that we're working with. But yeah, this one had some really cool missions. I think there was like intel stuff, different difficulties as well. This one could be pretty vicious. So for me, a big problem here with doing the campaign stuff is I did the whole thing on veteran, but it didn't count for me. For whatever reason, 2 levels did not count on veteran, so I still haven't gone back to do those, which kills me because I actually sat there. And this was the game I actually stopped doing like super hard difficulties on because it just basically broke me back in the day, which is kind of funny. I think it's actually kind of hilarious. But this is just giving you like a little bit of a tease of the style here, and then yeah, we're back in the interrogation room, and it's like, we know what you did, the numbers, and the numbers are all in your head. You're doing this account of what happened. It's a really cool way to frame the story, and it works very effectively in this game. It genuinely does. Like, this is basically kind of giving you just like a little bit of a tease almost of what the overall style of this one is. It is so surprisingly interesting because, like, the Modern Warfare franchise was certainly about like big action set pieces and stuff, whereas, well, this one does have big action set pieces. It was more about like doing a little bit of like covert work and doing some crazy missions along the way. So I think this one was kind of setting the pace well, but it doesn't quite have the intense action that some of the other levels might. Some of them you just get dropped right into the thick of it, especially as they're attempting to do all the dealing with the Nova gas and stuff like that, figuring out what's going on there. Looks like the rest of our squad made it in too. Oh, and I always love when the campaign mission started, it shows like this text and it kind of like blanks it all off because, you know, this classified information.
Don't draw any attention.
Yeah, I really forgot how masterfully set up some of the stuff was in this. Genuinely interesting.
No, we're good. Just do what they do.
Comms building up ahead.
Snipers on the roof.
We've got all these enemies here.
A couple of men out front.
Okay, Bowman, Brooks, get him out of the way.
Supposed to follow these guys. Ah, this campaign is so good. Seriously, like this is one of the, if not maybe one of the best for Call of Duty campaigns. It's crazy the sort of standards they set here.
Before we move up.
And then as I had mentioned, they're taking out the guys on the side. You know, the Black Ops 2 campaign so interestingly kind of takes events here and like expands them in so many interesting ways. I guess it's guns a-blazing now. There goes the stealth.
Contact down.
Contact by the desk.
But yeah, it does have all the trademark Call of Duty scenes of destruction, chaos, blowing stuff up, shooting through rooms, taking out enemies, getting the mission done, whatever the stakes, whatever the cost, the Black Ops way. Now we gotta climb up on the roof. They do such a good job of like setting up these crazy sequences.
Reloading.
And the enemy like reactions too in this one were kind of interesting because they did use the environment a little bit more than usual. Where did you come from?
Come in, over. Go ahead, Bowman. Just got a visual on Weaver. He's been taken to a bunker south of the comms building.
I remember like playing this back in the day, like this particular level, and just being like absolutely blown away by the scale of it. I was like, this is so exciting. I mean, like, I definitely feel that this is aged, but if they were to give this a nice coat of paint someday, it would be truly quite impressive. Really, the crossbow? The explosive crossbow?
Enemy moving in from the north. We're pinned down.
We got company. They're pinned down. Take out those vehicles.
I'm giving it all I got out here. Why do we have an explosive crossbow? I never understood the whole fascination in the Call of Duty franchise, or any shooter really, where it's like, we've got guns, we might have a sniper, but let's blow, or bring out the crossbow to send some, you know, explosion blows. This is always so silly to me. Like, why? Couldn't we have like a sniper that we literally brought with us that would make perfect sense for the situation?
Target down.
Good kills, guys.
Gunfire's drawing attention. Those assholes on the way.
And we have a zip line that's gonna take us over there? Okay.
Make it quick, Mason.
Go, go, go.
Isn't that just like wild though, and you're like crashing in and it's like this slow motion. Ah, they make this game so cool.
Weaver.
Sorry about your eye. Hope you didn't, you know, you weren't fond of that.
Clear right, clear left. You able to continue on mission, Weaver?
Let's do it.
I mean, it's gonna be hard for him to shoot because his eyes both like.
Plan B.
There may still be time to abort the launch. We need
Yeah,
to
this
get to that
campaign
zero
is
control
crazy
bunker.
because literally our goal here is to go after the big, you know, launch of the well, spaceship and whatnot.
Project Ascension. I had to kill Dragovich.
And it uses that as a time skip to get us to a new area. Very flawless way to kind of, you know, do that kind of thing. It works so effectively. It really does. Like this whole campaign, I really can't say more than enough like good things about it. They absolutely nailed the concept and the design and the scale of it. And so many surprises, so many neat twists, turns, and chaos, and crazy over-the-top Call of Duty action, like the greatest degree. See, we've even got like a time limit that we're having to like battle against to get the job done, which is just wild. Oh, we've got the MP5 too now. That's awesome. So anyways, yeah, the campaign in this, really quite excellent. Let's switch over and show off the multiplayer. So it's really cool that you can now actually enjoy the multiplayer with others. It's a little bit late as when we're filming this, but you can even get like domination and other like game types like search and destroy. It's really awesome. I kind of wish I would have filmed this review a little bit sooner though, because I did end up actually prestiging. I don't really know what prestige I'm on, but all my stuff got reset, because usually I've got like really cool custom like, you know, camos and stuff on my guns, but I have to rework to get that, which is fine, because now I'm actually going to be able to do a little bit of that, I guess, so that's actually kind of really exciting. So I really like the multiplayer in this game. It had a ton of maps, and some really cool levels. The DLC maps, I think, like, literally outnumbered, like, the main selection maps, which was funny, too. But obviously, some just straight-up iconic levels, some returning ones from World at War, which was awesome. Just a really great multiplayer. See, this one was also interesting, because it really did expand the scope of so many aspects from, like, Call of Duty 4, basically, and World at War and Modern Warfare. You know, the franchises that kind of were the entries of the franchises that came before this one, because we had this like whole new way where you're kind of like spending in-game points that you earn, like in-game currency that you actually earn. No microtransactional stuff there. And you were using that as you like would play in level, and you were able to like buy everything for your classes. So you would, you know, you'd have all these different like attachments and stuff, and then you would spend the in-game earned money to unlock those for your guns and unlock different weapons and different like perks, and you know, there was like a different sort of waiting system. And then there was this whole party game system that was unique in this one that we still see available in the modern entries, but it's not quite the same, because those were like the wager matches. So these were things that were like, you know, one in the chamber, gun game, stuff like that. And you would like wager the earned like money you had in order to like, you know, make more if you won and stuff. It was like a bit of a gambling type thing, which is wild to think about. Like, genuinely, it's kind of crazy that we've kind of moved so past that, because I thought that system was actually really quite clever and really interesting. Same with like your kill streaks and all that were part of it. And this one had where you could create your own custom like emblem picture and everything like that, which obviously led way for some questionable images that people would make, which was always entertaining thing to kind of witness and see, I suppose you would say. Not great for streaming and doing video content, but, you know, kind of interesting things. I remember even doing, like, guides where I'd be like, oh, here's how you make, you know, this sort of thing, and you had so many, you know, some people made, like, real works of art, which was kind of funny. But yeah, it just had all these really interesting first-time kind of systems in Call of Duty, and then it had this really cool type of gunplay, where nowadays it's a lot kind of like smoother, if that makes sense. Like this one has like a nice sense of like recoil and weapon bounce, and let's jump into the next match. So yeah, as I was saying, it had all these really neat kind of types of weapons and guns and tools. It's things like the tomahawk and stuff, like just some really ridiculous type things. And also the whole kind of integration with like somewhat more of a building competitive scene at the time. It was really quite an interesting entry in the franchise for multiplayer. I actually really love this particular game's multiplayer just because I found the style of it so interesting, like the way that it has like this sort of gritty kind of feel and vibe to it, like the guns and everything just seem really worn in, and you kind of see that across the experience too, whether you're playing campaign multiplayer or zombies. Is, you know, the environments, they really do feel like they hit that vibe and aesthetic of the era, where it's kind of like, you know, exciting and vibrant, but also dark, dangerous, brooding, and like a time of mystery and a, you know, a time of cooldish war. But yeah, it was kind of just a really great multiplayer setup. I had a lot of fun playing this back in the day. You know, also the iconic dolphin dive. But just really interesting game types and evolutions. It was kind of like they took the formula that was building and they were trying to do their own unique spin. Like, World at War was very, very close to Call of Duty 4. I think most people can agree that that is the case, and it's great. But this was where Treyarch was really like, okay, let's create our own spin on what Call of Duty is. And, you know, they actually created their kind of defining to this day, even in, you know, time of recording this, their style of Call of Duty, like what they do, what their big sort of purpose is on the franchise. They make the Black Ops games, and this is their semi, like, spin-off franchise that they've enjoyed and done numerous entries of over the years to, you know, varying levels of intrigue and whatnot. But this one just really kickstarted such a interesting system. And then also the expansion of perks, the expansion of kill streaks, the kind of cool customization of characters too. There's like face paint and stuff you can have. They really did some new kind of like innovative things. I don't know if everything has kind of carried forward over the years, but and the quick scoping was really annoying in this one as well. But yeah, no, they just really set up interesting stuff that we've continued to enjoy at varying levels over the years. Like all the Call of Duties, they all do like their own sort of thing, and legacy-wise, some have a larger impact than others in regards to what they added. But this one was always really, really quite interesting. You know, from the incredible maps, the great DLC levels. There are so many good maps in this game. Like, you know, ones that like literally continue to be like reused up to this day in like basically the original design too. It's kind of wild. They really nailed that. The different kinds of guns, and then the way you can personalize and upgrade those guns was awesome. And then the way you progress, the wager matches were fun. They were fun back in the day when I was younger. We had, you know, good laughs and times on that. Some of my pals were really, really quite into them, even more to a degree than I was, but, you know, that was always kind of cool. And then all the progressional challenges. This one also had a really good training grounds. So you'll essentially forever be able to play this one because there is, like, offline bot support, but I think it's just, like, team deathmatch. Anyways, let's go to the next match here. This was also the first time that we got the legendary Nuketown, and still, in my opinion, this is my favorite take on Nuketown. I think they just really nailed the kind of vibe of, like, a nuclear test type area. Like, it just kind of works flawlessly, and it also really helped reinforce the whole tiny map thing. I mean, obviously, Shipment was, like, the get-go for tiny maps, but I think this helped solidify Treyarch as having their definitive tiny little level that everybody loved. You know, they'd go on to have some other smaller maps, like Hijack was pretty big too, right, later on, but this one really nailed it. Also, just, as I was saying, the variety of maps in this are so cool. You've got, you know, things like Zoo, which is literally like a zoo. You've got small stuff like Nuketown, and then you've got like these different rocket launch locations, and, you know, silo spots, and oh yeah, the jungle, like the very terrain within all the maps is also just genuinely impressive. Like, they really absolutely delivered on a refined, expansive multiplayer that I had a lot of fun playing. I still enjoy so much. Like, I still think this one's got such a unique multiplayer voice within the series. And they just kept getting, like, cleaner and cleaner. Like, obviously, Black Ops 2 feels similar to this, but with such a jump up in time and technology, you can really feel that in this one compared, or in that one compared to this one. And this one is just such an interesting, firmly in its time, a great roster of weapons and things to do and things to unlock and maps to play on and action to have. I really do love the multiplayer in this one. It's so well done, and I wish I could get a kill streak higher than just the UAV going. But yeah, like I said, my weapons, everything like that, I just prestiged, and I should have done this beforehand. So I apologize for not looking fancier in the multiplayer, but Yeah, I'm prestiging again on old CODs. That is wild that is even an option, I gotta say. Let's jump into the zombies.
Enemy spy plane incoming.
So this is the zombies, which I do firmly believe was the definitive zombies experience. It peaked at this point. It literally never got better. This has the best zombies maps of the entire franchise. That cutting edge 4-player traditional survival with bits of storytelling as well, but not a complete focus on that. Mostly a focus on seeing how long you can last, how many zombies you can kill, and enjoying the magic along the way. You can do so solo as well. There's local, there's, you know, there's a couple different ways to play zombies, but yeah, it literally peaked at this. And this is Kino der Toten, just like the absolute perfect zombies map. Seriously, I don't think there's a better zombies map out there. I know there's a lot of preference and fun for, like, you know, the classic maps, you know, that's totally fine, but this one is, like, perfect for creating different strategies and movement. It's like this, you know, sort of system where you can just move along the outside, and then it's got the middle section you can cut through. It's just perfect. Like, absolutely perfect for zombies gameplay. So you're not familiar with zombies in Call of Duty. You are working together to survive wave after wave, or alone, like I said. And as the waves go on, the zombies become more and more tough. There's more and more of them. And it's just, you know, run out of ammo, and you kind of get exhausted after a long period of time. You know, it could be any amount of waves. It depends on how good your team is. Do you survive 10 waves, 20 waves? You know, getting up to 30 is a little crazy. That is for sure. And as you progress, you get more money and currency from taking out the zombies. And that will in turn allow you to open up new doors, go to new places, see new things. It's also very, like, horrifying and scary and creepy, the experiments that those crazy old scientists were doing. And then you've got the mystery box for random guns, and then you've got Pack-a-Punch, and then you've got all these different perks and all these different jokes and mysteries and references and weapons and tools and guns you can grab. Later on, they also added Mule Kick retroactively to a bunch of levels, which allows you to have like 3 guns. Oh, the zombies is just so good in this game. It genuinely is just, we still do retro zombie nights, it's so fun. And then there's power-ups, and then Perca-Cola, like I mentioned, just like the Mule Kick there. And then this game, like I said, had the best zombies maps. So for like the launch of this game, you get to enjoy having Kino der Toten, and you get 5. So 5 is like basically, I guess the Pentagon is what it's called, and like, you know, the music in these were awesome too. We had Alina Siegman doing the intense zombies music for like all of this, and then that one's got Eminem. Yeah. But, you know, you're going to 5 is what it's called, and, you know, it's DEFCON 5, and you fight these creepy crawly things, and that map's really cool, and you're playing as, like, the presidents and some other big historical figures from the era, which was fun. And then from there, the DLC was where the real treats were. We had Ascension, which, you know, is based on that campaign level we saw earlier. Ascension is awesome. We got some cool things like stamina up, so you move fast, and, you know, these landers where you kind of like zoom along. That map is really cool, really big. It was the first time I really felt like I was crazily exploring a zombies map. Because when they would first come out at night, you'd sit there trying to do all the Easter eggs and make videos and stuff. Oh, it was so fun back in the day. Then there was Call of the Dead, which I believe could have been the best zombies map ever. But they got this person called the Director. And that one has a great cast, too. That's got, like, Sarah Michelle and Danny Trejo and some other big kind of names, like horror icons are in that one. But yeah, you got a director following you around. But that map is huge, and it's frosty and snowy, and there's these big secrets where you have to, like, send the original crew that we're playing as right now home, which is so cool. Like, Call of the Dead is awesome. And I do have, like, videos of all these on the channel, too. So, kind of cool. And then from there we had Shangri-La. So Shangri-La was kind of crazy. Oh yeah, we got the releasing the hounds round where you get the ammo and stuff now. There's like a cool glitch here where you can like kind of sit on the edge and the dogs can't attack you. Like right here. But yeah, you know, you've got Shangri-La, which it was actually, I stayed up to like 5 or something to get that game with somebody. Like that map pack with somebody. And like, yeah, it was wild. That map I find kind of hard because it's really tight, narrow spots, and there's like this moonstone and everything, and you know, you gotta fight in these tight rock areas, and that one was wild, and there's like traps. That map is genuinely difficult. It's not my favorite, but it is really cool. And God, the maps and stuff in this are just so awesome. So we also got kind of this crazy legendary pack too, which is filled with nostalgia. So it's like the resurrection pack. So we got like Moon, where you literally go to the moon, and you have to go through like moon places trying to like fix up the moon, and that one is really difficult and kind of a pain, but it's got really cool weapons, a really cool design to it. Yeah, Moon is really quite awesome. And that pack also brought, like I mentioned, the classic nostalgia stuff. Was things such as the original 4 maps, upgraded with like the new weapons, really a rocket launcher, unbelievable. Nah, you're a glitch. You know, new weapons and the perks and everything like that. So that is Kino der Toten, the original map from World at War. All the maps I'm about to say are from World at War. Then it also had, I'm just digging into my memory banks for the names of all these. Verrocht, which is like a zombie asylum. That map's really neat because that was like the introduction of a lot of cool things. Then there was Shi No Numa, which is like one of my favorites, if not my favorite, zombies map. Like, I think this is like the best zombies map. I love this one. But Shi No Numa is so cool because it's like this swamp. This really creepy, cool swamp that you're in. And you gotta like move and hop in the water because it like slows you down. And then finally, one of the favorites of like everyone, I think a stellar zombies map is Derice, which is like a zombie kind of factory level, and you know, that's where you kind of get the generators connected for like the first time, and that one was really cool. You can get some good runs on that one, especially with like the balcony strategy and stuff like that. But needless to say, this game was just packed with great maps for zombies. Like the zombies in this one are just like, it's perfect. Like it, as I said, it's the pinnacle of zombies gameplay for the franchise. You know, some people may like the innovations later on and stuff, and some of the changes, but I really do firmly believe that like this was the best zombies. This is where we had the fun balance of mystery and survival and twists and turns and weird stuff, and like I would sit here and just play with buddies like over and over and over again because it was so great. You know, it was genuinely so good and so filled with surprises and twists, and you were just always kind of like, you know, what's gonna go on next, what's gonna happen, how are we gonna create new strategies and redo this over and over again. It was just excellent. Genuinely, they nailed the zombies with this game. I have so many good memories of playing this. Even recent ones, occasionally we go back, like I said, and play zombies and have fun with it. The zombies mode is so good. You know, that's why I wanted to do a full focus on zombies by itself as well, because I think zombies is genuinely such a great time in this game. I think I covered like everything, right? The perks, the power-ups that pop up, like insta-kill and stuff. The music box that you can find by clicking on 3 mysteriously hidden things. The fun extra weapons, there's like claymores, the pack-a-punch where you can energize yourself to other places. The fun mystery, the storytelling, all the weird twists and turns along the way, as I mentioned that a few times already. But seriously, it's like filled and just chock full of like little secrets and things, and it just kind of makes you wonder what else is hidden as you try to survive. But I think in general, Black Ops is just like such a complete package of a Call of Duty game. You know, gripping, really great, mysterious campaign, fun, exciting, gritty multiplayer, and then just like the definitive zombies where you're actually surviving, trying to make it through the waves, trying to make it out alive, working together. Well, I mean, you can't make it out alive no matter what you lose, but cool weapons. Oh, and always never forget the cool mystery.